If you are trying to compete at the top of your game, you want to compete against the best. He named Nick Saban because Nick Saban is the best.
Bottom line is this: you will be a championship contender in the near future. But this year, no, sir.
No.
The only thing this year you're going to beat in the SEC is between your legs and Vanderbilt. That's it.
All right, so it is 2:24 my time, 3:24 your time, and it didn't take long for us to get into the weekend before you hit my phone up, sending me some quotes that a new head coach in the SEC has made about Nick Saban. Now, I think we view this a little differently, but at the very end of our ideologies is the same result. So I want to hear from you because you were really fired up when you sent me that message about Brian Kelly's remarks about Nick Saban. So talk to me about what you're thinking, man.
The man's only been in the SEC for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, Ty. And he's already trying to go after the GOAT. You know, look, to me, it's disrespectful. You come here to the SEC, controversial. It was very controversial how you left. Just like when you went to Cincinnati. You was coaching at Cincinnati. You waited to the last night. The end of the season banquet, surrounded by police, and gave the players a 30-second speech and told you that he was leaving to go to Notre Dame, and then you left like a thief in the night. And you left so the players had to answer questions to the reporters. You didn't have the courage to do so. And then you do the same thing to Notre Dame. You build these teams up, and then all of a sudden you build them up to like top ranking teams, and then you leave them for more money. You're basically a better coach than Bobby Petrino, but you do the same. And then you come into SEC talking shit. Don't talk about Nick Saban. Jimbo's learning that fact right now, and now all of a sudden you going over here and you talking about Nick Saban. I don't know what the hell your problem is, but you need to keep that mouth closed, son. Let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is real simple. You think you're going to beat Alabama this year. You really do. You honestly think that you're going to beat Nick Saban in Alabama this year. Why? Because you're going to be at home this year?
Here's where we agree. You can't leave those programs the way you did, right? I talked about this today in my video when I was talking about some Oklahoma recruiting because I was making a larger point on recruiting as a whole. College football is built off of relationships. We can talk high and low about, this recruit needs to commit to the institution. They're committing to coaches. They're committing to relationships because those coaches develop, right? Institutions are awesome, and it's certainly a part. Relationships reign king. So you have to have good relationships, and Kelly, unfortunately, didn't end with good relationships. No argument there. Here's where we disagree. I see this differently. You bring up what Jimbo and Nick Saban are going through right now. In my opinion, had Brian Kelly answered that question with, I came to the SEC because I want to beat Lane Kiffin. I came to the SEC because I want to beat Jimbo Fisher. That, to me, would have been disrespectful. If you are trying to compete at the top of your game, you want to compete against the best. He named Nick Saban because Nick Saban is the best. That was a quote of admiration, in my opinion. He wasn't naming just anybody. He's betting on himself, as all coaches do. Look, these guys' confidence are sky high. There is a lot of arrogance in coaching because of the nature of competitive being in college football. He's comparing himself, saying, I want to compete against the very best. I didn't come here for nothing. I came here to try and beat the greatest coach in college football. That's admiration. And the other thing, we also need to understand, he has to talk that up because of the nature of coaching changes in the SEC. Not only is the SEC the most difficult college football league in the nation, it's also the most demanding on its coaches. Those coaches are ranked, and really their jobs depend on their success against Nick Saban and Alabama. That's not really a fair metric, right? You could be the second best team in all of college football by a wide margin, and Alabama just so happens to be the best team. And your coach is going to be weighed on their success against Alabama. That right there is a really tough sell. So he has to talk himself up. One, because it's admiration. Two, because of the nature of coaching in the SEC. So I agree. What I will say is this is named for a reason. And he's saying because Nick Saban's the best.
Bottom line is he wants to go one-on-one with the great one. Well, damn it, you're going to go one-on-one with the great one. But who taught you how to dance? Look at it. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the center of the screen. Look at the center. Look at this. And that player went to Alabama. Look how uncomfortable he looked. He's like, what the hell am I doing?
I'm uncomfortable.
He dances like a $2 crack whore. I mean, this guy is something serious. Hey, bottom line is this. I have faith that Brian Kelly would bring LSU to the promised land. I honestly to God think he would do the same thing he did with Cincinnati. He would do the same thing he did with Notre Dame. He's going to do the same thing he did with. He's going to do the same thing to LSU. He's going to take them to the promised land. Now, will he leave like he did with Cincinnati and Notre Dame? I don't know. Money talks, and Brian Kelly will walk. Bottom line is this: you will be a championship contender in the near future. But this year, no, sir. No, not at all.
No.
I mean, the only thing this year you're gonna beat in the SEC is between your legs and Vanderbilt. That's it. That's the only thing you're gonna. That's it. Final thoughts.
Yeah, look, to highlight something you said in a serious note, I am very excited for what Brian Kelly can bring to LSU. One thing we do have to be very real about is LSU is about the best recruiting situation in the nation. When you look at talent per capita, Louisiana is loaded, and you're the only major player in state. You don't have to compete with anybody. That's a big win, and he's able to do a lot more now because he has LSU resources. Notre Dame resources are phenomenal. The brand of Notre Dame can't be competed with for 99% of college football. But you can do more recruiting-wise at LSU. If you know, you know. And I'm not saying that as anything shady. It's just the realities of the situation. So it's certainly not going to be this year, but I am excited because he did have success getting Notre Dame to the playoffs. Didn't get the result, but LSU is a very talented team. I'm interested.
What you're going to see from LSU is the same thing you saw with Nick Saban in Alabama. You're going to see a very bad season this year, but in 2008, you're going to see a Julio Jones. You're going to see an undefeated season. And then
we'll see. I don't know if I'm giving him that much credit, but I certainly am.
I will. No, I will. I'll say it. I'll say it. You're going to see kind of like a mirroring image of what happened in 2008, 2007. Nick Saban got whooped because he had all old players. He had it's stuff that was going on in Alabama that, he finally could start recruiting, something Nick Shula really couldn't do. I said Nick Shula. Mike Shula. Stuff that Mike
trying to fuse them. That way the memory is less painful.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that bad. I'm an Alabama fan regardless.
No doubt.
It's harder to be a Falcon fan than it is an Alabama fan. But needs to say,
bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Brian Kelly can do the same thing. He knows how to recruit.
Definitely. No argument.
I'm just saying two things. One, you're a piece of shit. You do to these programs like Bobby Petrino, and number two, you're a piece of bringing up Nick Saban. You don't talk about Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher. You're a too.
Look, we're gonna have to disagree, or we're gonna have to agree to disagree on the very last point, because I do genuinely believe that he named Saban because Saban's the GOAT. Right? These guys, it's like a UFC fighter. A UFC fighter will lose and instantly say, I shouldn't have lost. I'll beat him next time. It's because that's a fighter's mentality. You have to think that way in these incredibly competitive environments. Very analogous. So I think it was more admiration, but very interested to see what he does.
Yeah, okay. Well, hey. Listen, we use these webcams for different things. I use them for YouTube and meetings, but Ty Hayes uses his webcam for YouTube and OnlyFans. So tell everybody where you can find your YouTube page and your OnlyFans account.
Yeah, so the YouTube page is Around the Table Sports, talking college football pretty much daily. I had a little bit of a vacation the last few weeks because of work under the house, but now that's done and I'm ready to get back at it. Now the OnlyFans, that's much more interesting. You can get a lot of good stuff over there, and I'm gunning to be at the top of OnlyFans. We're going to take over OnlyFans one day, and we're going to have a college football calendar, and it's going to be glorious.
Ty Hayes, thank you for doing the video with me, and thank you for all you do Around the Table Sports, and of course, thank you for being part of the team. We got to go. Oh, hey, we love you. We got to go, and remember, people, win or lose, Auburn fans will get dressed up and go play with the animals. And I'll catch you later, and we are out.